For you, Cancer, communication is key. We have new moon in Gemini. Duality, the new moon in Gemini is about accepting all spectrums of yourself, all sides of yourself. Not just the side that you show as a performance to the public, but the side that's in the shadow, the side that's illuminated, the side that getting that when the moon turns, there's a side of us that we keep blindfolded, that we keep behind the curtain, letting all sides of yourselves, all faces of yourself, all facets of yourself to communicate with each other in order to step into your authentic self. But of course, communication is about relationships. It's also about being intentional about communication with yourself. In order to be honest with others around you, in order to communicate your intentions, you need to be honest with yourself. So you really need to step into the mirror and look into your subconscious, which as Cancer, that should be easy as you're very intuitive, you're very connected to the water and your emotions. You're not alone. This is very much giving Gemini energy for you. Cancer, this is about integrating all sides of yourself, the conscious and the subconscious, and integrating it to create a spark. We need for the authentic self to come through. We need to integrate all parts of ourselves. But outside of this message, this is about you're not alone. So if you feel isolated, if you're isolated, pushing people away, which oftentimes their signs have a tendency to do. I've had Cancer friends that have had to have a sense of isolation when they're going through hard times, when they're feeling overwhelmed by things, and they feel they have to push people away. And I feel that comes from your shell, from your crab energy, where you need time to integrate your emotions and not be influenced by other people. That's the element, the struggle, and the gift of Cancer. You have a high intuition, but with that comes being able to set boundaries, what is yours and what is someone else's. And in that, you have to understand how you're showing up. If you're showing up as your authentic self, and if you're not showing up as your authentic self, really communicating with yourself. And if you're needing, and going back to the community, there is a powerful pull within you, but just because you might feel you have the tendency to go it alone because you have all the facets within you, the shadow and the light, in order to integrate, even if you have all the facets you need inside you, even if you feel you can go through life alone, that you have your shell, that you have your home, that you don't need anybody else. This is letting you know that you can ask for help. In isolation, you can ask for help. So this is an opening, an invitation for you to reconnect with yourself and find your community, communicate with your community. This doesn't have to be an actual physical family. This can be in regards to first making the intent, your conscious and your subconscious, in order to make that integration and connecting the two, and that you need help. I'm getting that the enlightened self and the subconscious self, the enlightened self and the ego self need to be interrogated. The ego self can't die because then we have no self. We still need within the spiritual journey to have a sense of grounding, and that's what the ego does. It grounds us to what built us, to the community that built us, to the family that built us, to the connections that gave us opportunities to discover our own values. And while there is room to step back, there's also space to call in help. You don't have to go this alone. You don't have to do this all alone. All eyes are on you. You might feel you have to perform. And this goes with what I was saying in regards to this moon card where you feel you have to provide a certain facet of yourself to the public. This could be your ego self, while an inner self, other facets of your personality you might hide, which I feel comes with the crab shell, where you might come off as shy or quiet as a performance, or you feel scrutinized, so you feel only certain parts of yourself are able to perform well for the viewer. You feel that you are performing, which provides a very Leo energy, where you feel you only have a space. Maybe you feel like you're acting in your life. And this comes in cycles. Understand that if you're having a tough time, that you're not alone. And I think Cancer is the one that know in regards to the water element in cycles and flow and being in the flow of their emotions more than anyone else. You are very intuitive and you're able to see beyond the scope of the performance that you give others. And it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to, if you feel, and it's really calling out and asking for help, guidance from ancestors, spirit guides. With the Gemini energy, this is definitely, and the thunderstorm, this is definitely giving an air sign. This is about opening your crown chakra and opening your throat and really channeling, receiving assistance from others. I feel Cancer signs are very service orientated, so often if they have, at least from the Cancer suns that I've had friends with, they've tended to resolve their issues by helping others and being comfortable helping others rather than confronting their emotions. And I'm not saying all Cancers are like that. I'm saying if you're not comfortable with asking for help, you might have a tendency to service others. You might have a tendency to isolate, but you have to understand how powerful you are. By integrating all sides of yourself, the subconscious and the conscious, you create an electrical sphere, an electrical static reaction in the universe. So this is really reaching out to those who are needed and that you need. It's okay to desire physical connection. If you're at war inside your head in this air energy, it's okay to reach out to those around you to guide you. And you might feel that you are trapped in these cycles, that you're being watched so closely that you feel you're not able to ask for help, because you have to create this performance arts of what others see you as, the conscious self coming through, when the subconscious is hidden, which has that crab energy, that you choose which side, which self. And I've seen this before with Cancer in the past, where they're able to use their gift of intuition and basically emotional manipulation in order to control how other people view them. Cancers are very powerful when they want to be, but this is also letting people see you for who you are, the glass box, asking for assistance and truly being vulnerable to where you are currently. And asking for help might trigger you to feel like you're in this glass box. You feel like you're an iguana in a little box where people can just look at you and then walk away, and then it's a kind of performance arts where you might not actually feel like you can be yourself. But understand that this is a cycle that you need to move through, and in order to move through this, it comes from asking for help, asking for guidance, reaching out to others who ground you, who connect you to the physical, to physical touch, such as holding hands, hugging, in order to connect to the relationships through soul work, being part of a community, understanding that you're not alone in creating the honey, that it's a team effort, and it all starts from communication. Everyone has a part in the hive, and that doesn't make you less important just because there are a million other workers, because every bee has a purpose. Doesn't mean you're here to work your butt off and then be discarded. It means you're part of a bigger thing. About temptations, the ego might want to be validated. An Ace of Cups come forth of emotional fulfillment, of emotional overflow from a devil, because you see how these are, it comes from the devil. So there might be a sense of temptation coming through as emotional fulfillment, but it's to entrap you. And you really have to, you have the all-seeing intuition, the all-seeing ability as the Cancer to see through these entrapments, these illusions, these performance arts of your ego, where you might be tempted to only showcase one side of you, of only the ego, of only creating a performance arts of what people, getting like your abilities. People might want to, for you to perform your abilities for them, like snap on the finger. As soon as they take out the lens, they want to see your abilities. Only one side of you with the new moon and Gemini energy is only seen, that's only able to shine. And there's a Knight of Swords rushing in, the Ace of Cups from the devil in this temptation. You see the coin from the dove, but the fact is it's almost coming as a hand from the devil. And it's okay to ask for help, not through the physical realm, but through your gifts and abilities, because you have a strong aura where you're able to use your powers, are able to create a storm and storm aura to you. And you have a strong hive, you have a strong community, and it's simply asking for help. Knight of Swords is a kind of knight in shiny armor, and even if he may be immature in his energy, he's coming forth to cut the fogginess in communication. As you see, he's cutting through the clouds, and the fact you had communication is key for your moon card, as your focus energy shows that it's cutting through the communication air energy. There will be a temptation, but there will be a person who will come through as the Knight of Swords to cut through the clarity, to cut this bondage. This is a bondage. This is something in your mind that you feel you have to keep performing, you have to keep doing the cycle of this performance arts to keep up the image